All right. People are mourning the loss of Mike Hickman, Little League coach, who many called the pillar of Lancaster community. Friends and family identified Hickman as the man killed during a Little League football game in Lancaster Saturday evening. Police are looking for a person of interest, Yaqib Salik Talib. There was a fight on the field following a disagreement with coaching staff and officiating crew. Police said that when Talib pulled out a gun and started shooting. This all happened in front of the young kids, some younger than 9 years old, who were playing and watching the game. Another coach said, now many of the kids are scared from this. Friends of Coach Hickman uh, said he's been a coach for years, and they now feel lost without him. So we want to keep him and his family in prayers. So this is something that uh, disagreements, arguments, fights, and stuff have been going on in the little league, AAU, middle school, high school, all in those lower levels of game there between the parents and officiating and the coaches slash coaches slash parents there. We've got Chris on, who's been a little league coach and a middle school coach, and then we also got KD on here, who's done officiating for all age groups, little league, high school, and middle school on the day. So they have a little bit of experience with this, man. What do y'all think about all of this that transpired today, and then throughout the country with the little league and the younger grade age sports, where we're seeing parents and coaches out of control?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Uh, from a referee standpoint, I've been in the stands as a parent, and I've also been on the field. And you do want that spirit of competition, but one of the things that gets out of hand is when there's a coach that's not disciplined, or there's a parent that's in the stands that's not disciplined, and it leads to acts like what happened to to Mr. Hickman. Unfortunately, it leads to a lot of other issues. I mean, it happens in basketball, it happens in baseball, it happens on every level. Just the higher the level, the more discipline there is, or sometimes there's security. And so, for me as a referee, a lot of times I have to officiate properly, but then there's certain calls that I have to make that don't seem as if everybody's going to get along with it. And the next thing you know, as a referee, I suffer consequences, just like you see on the video. You don't know who's coming behind you, who's coming after you, and as referees, we don't have any security for ourselves if the league didn't hire any security, and so we have to go in and officiate the game, and we don't make a lot of money as officiants, as officials. We go out there and do a job and try to go home, and we do it for the kids. I don't know. Chris can maybe speak from the coach's view. I just know it's real difficult from the referee view.
I mean, yeah, from a coming from a coach's point of view, to me, the problem I'm seeing now is becoming, not about the kids. It's more of the adults, their egos, the parents, even some of the coaches. You know, as a fellow, former little league coach, you know, what we try to do, we try to work with the officials. Hey, we be like, hey, we meet with the officials. Hey, let's make this about the kids, so we're on one accordance with each other. Now I've seen in the past where I've coached little league teams, and after a game, we had two parents break out into a fight over something, something simple. And the kids, they're all trying to run to it, and so we're having to grab the kids, get them out the way, so they can stay safe and so we can protect them. But like we said, it's unfortunate that things have come this way to where you've lost a coach. You've lost a pillar in the community to some of these kids who this man may serve. May be only that male role model in their life. And like I said, it's more what I'm seeing is just ego from the adults and not about the kids. You sit up here and you pay all this money for these kids to play these sports, especially with AAU if they travel. That's very costly because you got to look at, because I also coach AAU. So you have your monthly dues that you have to pay, travel, so it's gas, food, hotel, things like that. And these parents are starting, some of them are making it about themselves. They're trying to live throughout their kids. As a as a parent, you're not going to agree with every call the official makes or misses. You're not going to agree with every call that the coach makes, but at the same time, as a coach, that's your decision to make. And I always tell my parents, because I coach on the middle school level right now. I have my parent meeting. I tell my parents, I say, hey, one thing we're going to do, you're going to respect the officials. I don't care if they're white, black, blue, or red. You're going to respect the officials, the kids, and any coaches in here from both teams. I said, I'm not afraid to kick a parent out myself. I've done it before. I'll stop a game, tell the official or tell security, hey, if this parent acts this way, I said it won't be, hard to point out. Escort them out this game. Because my thing is, I want these kids to be safe and go home at the end of the day.
And for the most part, it's usually one person that'll incite like
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
It'll sometime it'll start in the fans, and you want kind of the fans to be, zealous. You want them to be passionate about their team, and you want the coaches to kind of want their team to win. But there needs to be a ceiling. And for the most part, man, you're seeing more and more and more frequencies of it. You're seeing it happen a lot more often that people are just on the field boxing. And it's been a lot of games that I've had to call. Um, I mean, when I say call, like not referee, but I'll just stop the game and say whoever's up top, we're gonna forfeit the whole game, and that'll make everybody else mad because, if I throw a flag for crowd control, if I throw a tech while I'm on the basketball floor for crowd control, I'm gonna do that to keep it. And sometimes we gotta call it like we'll as referees will huddle and we say, hey, we finna call it tight to make sure that the crowd calm down. And
Yeah.
if a lot of times if you see that, that's pretty much because crowd control. The tighter you call the game, for any little touch, for any little push, for any little thing, um, it will use that as a method of bringing the crowd down. And so that'll also bring the players down a little bit because they hear their parents in the stands going crazy and the coach going crazy and then there's somebody on the floor going crazy and everything like that. And it's just one thing after another. And parents want to protect their kids, the coaches want to protect their team, and referees we get caught in the middle a lot of times. And for the most part, man, the kids um, see all of this foolishness and they think it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, because I've even had a basketball game I use for example. I had a game last season at Oldham, and it was on my birthday. Um, and the game went to overtime. We ended up winning. And the parents after the game, the parents wanted to start a riot. So we had security principals, say, hey, take all the boys, take both teams to the locker room. We got to hold them back there. And parents starting to ride, and they got parents out the gym. But then there's a breezeway outside of our gym at the school. The parents still didn't want to leave. So we were like, hey, we got to get these kids home. Police were like, hey, I will start taking, arrest you or do what I got to do to get y'all to calm down. So finally they calmed down and we were able to get the kids, to the bus from the other school, get them on the bus so they can get back to their campus and our kids can go home. But like we said, if we could just work together, like you said, with the crowd control, or even because kids tend to get chippy because they listen to their parents in the stands
Yeah,
and too many voices.
I've even mentioned to I was calling the game. I remember I was calling the game earlier this year. It was the end of the football season, and that particular game had gunplay, and so it was two guys fighting in the stands, and the culture of the field and the culture of the audience at the time, they navigated to that. Everybody ran to that. For me, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go the other way. And so when they navigated to it, myself and the other refs, we went to the field house, and next thing you know, we heard, a gun, a gun, a gun, a gun, and everybody just started running all over the place. And called the president of the league that I ref for, and told him, hey man, look, I'm I'm done. Like if they don't have security for this particular league, I can't fool with it, man. And it's like he was like, well, yeah, they're gonna get somebody out there, but getting somebody out there look like some dude with Dickies on with a badge like a sticker or something. It ain't real security, and so he might know somebody that's in the stands too. Like you got to have either a municipality or the district police out there because it's we can do so much as coaches. We could do so much as officials, and when it gets out of hand, we're outnumbered totally. You seen it in a professional level with Steven Jackson and the Indiana Pacers, and when all that broke out, you're outnumbered. I don't care what nobody say. There are always going to be more fans than coaches, more fans than referees, more players than referees and coaches. And when things get heated, um, you got to put your Nikes on and you got to move around.
So, I mean, for the little league here, because I know the high school level is a little bit more in Texas. There, in high school is a little bit more security there to keep the parents off the field. And little league, I mean, just kind of watching some of these videos that's playing on like security. There's nothing. Like some of these key parents are right on the field with the kids, and sometimes it's the coaches that are getting out of control there. Is there something that needs to be done? I mean, I'm asking everybody there, but is there something that needs to be done to ensure security or to slow it down? I don't know what the rules are for when these coaches go. I've seen on some of the shows where coaches get kicked off of teams and stuff like that. But I mean, pretty much you're a referee and Chris, you're a coach. I know uh y'all know which coaches are over the top, for
Yeah.
little league, especially little league. You know what I mean?
Uh,
The little itty there. Is there some kind of way where it's like, hey, this guy's done this over and over again? He don't need to be a coach. Is there some type of protection to kind of
um,
slow down some of this stuff?
well, as me being a former coach, I no longer coach a little league, and now I'm just a board member with the little league organization I'm with. And in our bylaws, our rules are with the coaches. You get first time you get into it with somebody, like you get ejected from a game, you're suspended that following week, and then you come back. So meaning you can't come to practice, none of that for an entire week. If it repeats itself, and then we just kick you. We kick you out. We vote as a board to remove you altogether from the organization. We've had that happen once before, um, but far as I know, with school ball, of course, we're governed by UIL, and if you get kicked out or you get two texts, for example, with basketball, if you get two texts, you have to. I believe you got to go in front of the board. You got to go all the way to Austin and actually sit in front of a board of UIL members, and they pretty much determine, hey, you're gonna be suspended with this, and you're gonna have consequences from your athletic director. I know in BISD, say if I get kicked out of a game and it just continues to happen, I lose my coaching stipend for that sport. So we talking about taking money out of your pocket. So you got to learn how to govern yourself.
Well, and Chris, you're right. You do have to know how to govern yourself. But in Little League, you got to understand that there are no repercussions. Um, there's no stipend for a Little League coach. They come out there
Right.
just because they're passionate about taking their teams to the next level. And so um, that's where I think there should be, hey, last week, we had an issue with this coach. We reported to the commissioner on the little league level. We can report it to the commissioner. If the commissioner is good friends with the coach or there's some nepotism, there's a difficulty in getting that person off of the field. And so I try to build a relationship with all. I've had to throw some coaches out, and then the next time I see them, they'll be like, "Yeah, man, I was wrong for that." And that relationship comes because they naturally see that they have that my intentions weren't about them at all. And so, for the little league level, the dilemma is there's no repercussions. Like, what do you do to a coach that's coming out there that's not making any money,
Yeah.
and the only thing he get is to give his kids some rings at the end of the season? Right? We had them little plastic trophies. They get rings now and trophies.
Yeah.
And so, what do you do for a little league? Like, what repercussions? So it's like you backed against the wall. Because if he walk out, he walking out on the kids. But for him to act crazy in the first place, is he really there for the kids? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And so it's a real difficult situation for coaches and the players and everybody involved. Parents get upset because they kid probably not getting no play time. Coach trying to tell them and from the little league level, Chris, you can also uh, echo this. The little league level, some parents don't bring their kids to practice.
Right. That's the biggest problem.
Right. And so coaches have a problem with that. And so because they don't bring their kid to practice, coach said, well, he don't know the plays. He don't know the book. He don't know what we're running, but I got to give him play time because the league say he got to get a minimum amount of play time. Right.
Yep.
So then the parents get mad at the coach. And then if the referee calls a play on the kid that's not getting the play time on the throw a flag, then that's another issue. So it just becomes heated and more
Yeah.
and heated. I think the start, and to answer your question, Isaac, I think one of the things that you can do to start is start with the top down. Start with the commissioner of the league of these Pee Wee teams, or whoever the director or the president is. Start with them setting some ground rules. Uh, and then from that point, meeting with have the players meet with the coaches, and let them share with those things, and then also as a referee, we need to meet with the coaches and let them know, hey, look, we're learning. If you're a passionate coach, there's just certain things I don't tolerate as a referee, but just we're gonna have a good game. We all gonna get along. Win, lose, or draw. At the end of the day, is for these kids. And the kids are saying this and they're thinking it's okay, and then they take it to the next level. And then they get to the middle school and they take it to the next level, high school. And it's a good example of that was a West Orange Stark defensive player that ended up going to Alabama and still had that mentality from when he was playing Pee Wee ball, Pop Warner, and he took that all the way up to the next level. And he could have been a great league player, but unfortunately, he kept taking it to the next level because that's what he believed was okay.
All right, Jonathan, you had anything?
Nah, man. I mean, they said everything. I mean, if the parents want this to continue, they need to control themselves. If not, they're gonna be watching it like it's karate practice when the pandemic was going on. You're gonna be watching it from your tablet. You're gonna be watching it from the tablet, still paying them same fees. Then you're gonna be
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what it's going to
So
look like.
once again, yep. So once again, man, rest in peace, Coach Hickman, man. Uh, sad tragedy, man, especially for all these kids on both sides of the team there to experience this and to see this up front, man. So we be praying for both teams, the coaches, and all the families affected by this tragedy, man.